Up with KREM begins now.
Good Tuesday morning. Thank you for joining us here on Up with KREM. I'm Brandon T. Jones, filling in for Tim and Nicole, but we do have meteorologist Thomas Patrick. He's standing by live right now over there in the Weather Center, keeping us up to date with all things fall weather related. Thomas, how's it going?
Yeah, good morning, Brandon. It looks like our conditions are still pretty average for morning temperatures. You see 40s and 30s on the map behind me. If you compare it to yesterday, it is technically warmer than it was on Monday, and that is the direction we are moving temperature-wise. Obviously, still cold enough to warrant a jacket or a sweatshirt on your way out the door. It's still about 40 degrees in Spokane Valley, 41 in Liberty Lake, but just 28 in Deer Park. We know that Deer Park is one of always the cold spots in the morning. That is not going to change anytime soon. But with the sunshine, everyone, or just about everybody, at least gets into the low 70s today, which is 5 degrees warmer than yesterday. It looks like we'll have plenty of 70s this week's forecast.
All righty, well, here is a live look at I-90 and Pines here on Up with KREM. We bring you weather and traffic together every 30 minutes. Things look like they're moving nice and smooth this morning. And of course, we'll keep an eye on these traffic cameras throughout the shows just to give you an idea ahead of your morning commute. Well, this morning, the 29-year-old man accused of breaking into the Washington State Capitol and causing significant damage is out of jail. Washington State Patrol says he broke in Sunday night, and cameras capture the man knocking items over, tripping over or tipping over bus, throwing and burning flags, smashing windows, and even setting a rug and a piano seat on fire. The man was inside the building for 11 minutes before WSP arrested him. Troopers credit the quick thinking of an employee at the Department of Enterprise Services, monitoring surveillance cameras, alerting them to the intruder.
The symbolism of entering our house of democracy and engaging in vandalism and destruction is itself also heartbreaking.
Well, work continues to repair what was broken. The suspect is expected back in court by Friday, and if charges are filed right now, he's out of custody. Well, a helicopter crashed onto a California highway last night, shutting roads down. And we do want to let you know some of this video may be a little bit hard to watch. This happened in Sacramento just after 7 o'clock. Authorities say the pilot, a nurse, and a paramedic were on board the medical chopper. All 3 people were taken to the hospital in critical condition.
Captain immediately sequestered the help of just civilians that were standing around. They were able to lift part of that helicopter out and get that victim out so we could get them loaded into the back of an ambulance and transported off scene.
In a statement, REACH, the medical transport services that operates the flight, said they are in the process of determining the details of this situation as well as the condition of the REACH crew involved. There was no patient on board. First responders confirming no one else was injured and no cars were involved in the crash. Well, unionized Starbucks baristas marched outside the company's headquarters in Seattle Monday. They did that, and they say they are angry about 900 workers who were laid off when the coffee chain closed more than 24 stores in Washington state. On top of losing their jobs, the workers say they were not offered transfers to other stores.
Our morale is really strong, but we lost our jobs, so it's actually surprising to see. It's the Seattle laws that really helped us out.
The union claims it negotiated a severance package for affected employees. Of the Starbucks closing in Washington, 3 are here in Spokane. The one off Hamilton, Division, and Newport Highway are all set to close their doors.
A lot of them are probably sick from the chill.
Just too cold. I'm sorry to hear that.
It's fine. They're not dead.
Well, that was a resident of the Pullman apartment complex that caught fire over the weekend. He was one of many residents who were displaced after Pullman police say Elijah Reagan may have intentionally caused an explosion in his unit. Police chief says they have received complaints in the past about Reagan. Spokane police say they've arrested a man they say set another person on fire near the Brown Street Viaduct last month. Police say 57-year-old Dupree Meadows allegedly used an improvised flamethrower to light a homeless man on fire. Court documents reveal the victim's burns reached roughly 2/3 of his body and had to be life-flighted to Seattle. Meadows now faces first-degree arson and first-degree assault charges. His arraignment's scheduled for October 9th. No word yet on why the attack happened. New this morning, a Minnesota community mourns the loss of a firefighter who lost her life after a tragic accident in northern Idaho. 26-year-old Isabella Oscarson was hit by a falling tree while helping the U.S. Forest Service with a prescribed burn in the Nez Perce Clearwater National Forest. Those who knew Oscarson said she had a bubbly personality and was always willing to help. Over the weekend, she was laid to rest in St. Anthony, Minnesota. Well, you can make small changes to reduce the spread of wildfires. Our partners at the Coeur d'Alene Press say fire-resistant landscaping can help protect your home. The University of Idaho Extension has a helpful guide called Protecting and Landscaping Homes in the Wildland-Urban Interface. It breaks down which plants hold up best, like succulents and trees with high moisture content, and which maintenance habits really matter. Keep your lawns trimmed and watered, and clear leaves and needles from your roof and gutters, and prune trees so branches don't crowd together. And while no plant is completely fireproof, regular watering, pruning, and cleanup are your best defenses. Small steps that could eventually make a big difference when wildfire season returns. Well, Idaho State Police are extending the application for new troopers amid a shortage. ISB telling us the problem is especially bad in Coeur d'Alene and Lewiston. Right now, other districts across the state are picking up the slack. The hiring process includes a physical exam, a written test, an interview, as well as medical and psychological evaluations. To apply, you need to be a U.S. citizen, at least 21 years old, have a high school diploma or equivalent, have an Idaho driver's license, and pass a background check. The new deadline to apply is October 17th. All right, Mariners fans, we got to keep the good vibrations going, and it is another exciting day for baseball here in the Pacific Northwest as the M's are preparing this morning for Game 3 of the ALDS. And if you couldn't get over the mountains to Seattle this past weekend to support in person, you've got an opportunity to, spread as much energy and joy as possible while they play over there in Detroit. That's why we've got KREM 2's Regan Gallo. She's joining us live from downtown Spokane this morning. Regan, how are you doing? And what baseball fun have you learned about here in Spokane?
Good morning, Brandon T. Jones. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. It's a little chilly outside, so I'm excited for it to warm up later today. But yes, as the Mariners are in Detroit today to face the Tigers yet again for Game 3. Each team has been tied up right now, so I expect a lot of anticipation for today's game at 1:08 p.m. But right behind me, there's one new local spot, new to Spokane, the Griffin Tavern that is right on Monroe and First, and it's supposed to be very exciting for people attending the game, or watching the game, because of just all the fun amenities inside, like a self-pour beer wall and a huge projector screen to enjoy all that baseball fun. And we talked to the general manager, who kind of tells me about what they have in store.
This restaurant specifically, we've got a unique beer wall to the Spokane area. I believe it's the first one in the area where people can self-pour, and they've got 16 choices of beer or cider and 4 choices of wine to self-pour off the wall.
Sounds so delicious. So if you're downtown today, check out the Griffin Tavern. Their soup, salads, pizzas, burgers, fish and chips, and even chicken katsu are on the menu. A lot to enjoy, especially as they're in their first few months of business. So again, that Mariners game today is at 1:08 p.m. Pacific time. Again, 1:08 p.m. So if you are able to take a little bit longer of a lunch break to enjoy some innings, definitely check out the Griffin Tavern as you watch the big dumper crack some home runs. I'm reporting right here in downtown Spokane. Regan Gallo, KREM 2 News.
I suspect a few people might just take a full-on half day for today. Not us, Brandon. We get off by the noon hour, so we'll be able to be free for that 1 p.m. first pitch. Weather conditions today look absolutely gorgeous across the entire West Coast. Not just here in Spokane, even though it is going to be absolutely stunning, but there is just very little weather at all happening across the West Coast here. I mean, I think the closest rainfall, I had calculated this out, is like 1,000 miles away. Yeah, like 1,000 miles away in North Texas would be the nearest rainfall to Spokane. All sunny skies all day long with high temperatures in the low 70s.
Well, happening tonight, Spokane Low Income Housing Consortium is holding a community housing event. Tonight's event is in partnership with Black Home Ownership Spokane and Habitat for Humanity Spokane. They'll be holding a public forum with Spokane city candidates, allowing voters to hear candidates' visions for affordable housing and community development. Tonight's meeting starts at 5:30 at the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Community Center. And also happening tonight, Together Spokane is hosting a town hall on the South Hill. They're focusing on expanding opportunities for families, enhancing park security, and modernizing local schools. Residents from South Spokane and District 2 are invited to the town hall tonight, and the meeting starts at 6, runs until about 7. It'll be at Ferris High School.